Hi everyone, Dr. Michael Gimity here. Today we're going to be going through how to take a CBCT volume of a patient and turn this into a 3D printable model that we can then just take to our 3D printer and, well, 3D print obviously, or we can use it to treatment plan or do whatever we really want with it. Now there's a lot of software out there that's able to do this. And today we're only going to be using free software, and we're going to be using two software specifically. First off, we're going to be using 3D Slicer, and then we're also going to be using Meshmixer. These are two of the most powerful software out there, even though they're free, in order to do any sort of CAD/CAM applications in dentistry. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we're going to want to locate our DICOM volume, and you can see it right here on my desktop. Then we're going to open up 3D Slicer, okay? So when we open up 3D Slicer, this is what it looks like, okay? Now, one of the things is with this is that you can see that we need to first make sure that we have the dental segmenter add-on installed within 3D Slicer. So you can see it up here. We went to manage extensions, and I downloaded this dental segmenter. Now you can see there's three other add-ons also on here: UNet, PyTorch, and then the Slicer Python test runner. These are just the dependencies that need to be installed in order for dental segmenter to actually work. And these will be automatically installed when you go through and you actually download and install dental segmenter. So next up, we're going to go over here to add data in the top left corner, and we're going to locate the DICOM volume that we're going to be using for our patient. In this case, it's going to be me, so don't judge for all of my dental work. Now, one of the things that's really important here, actually the most important thing, is we need to make sure that we're exporting our DICOM, our CBCT volumes as DICOMs. Now, what is a DICOM? A DICOM is just the file format that is compatible with any sort of third-party implant planning software, or really any CAD/CAM applications that you'd be using a CBCT for. Your CBCT units are great, but one of the downsides with them is that these companies always try to push their own proprietary file formats, okay? Now, these proprietary formats are not compatible with something like 3D Slicer or Blue Sky Bio or Co-Diagnostics or whatever these softwares are that you're using. Now, every single machine is slightly different on how you actually export them, but the keywords that you're looking for, first off, are obviously DICOM, but it's also going to be, sometimes they'll phrase it as for third-party manufacturing. That just means that all the metadata is still there, but it's actually going to be compatible with what we're using. So you need to make sure you do that before we go through and open up 3D Slicer. And also, if you're using any other CAD/CAM applications, make sure you're exporting as a DICOM volume. So now, once we actually go through and we import this scan, you can see right here on the right side that this is an actual CBCT file. And like I said, this is my mouse, so don't judge me. But once we verify that this is the correct file, what we're going to go do is we're going to go to the dental segmenter module. And you can see it's up here in the top. Now, 3D Slicer looks really scary and it looks really overwhelming, I know, but trust me, once you get the hang of it, it really is not a super complicated piece of software to use, and it's incredibly powerful in what you're able to do with it. So we're going to go over here to the left side, and the only thing we're going to change here is device. So you can see right now that it's selected as CUDA. But what that is that with any sort of video card that you have, especially if it's an NVIDIA GPU, it's able to run off of the CUDA cores that are within the graphics card. So if you have a great graphics card, you're going to be home free. In this case, I'm going to run it off of my CPU instead to kind of simulate how long and what you could expect it to be like if you don't have a super powerful GPU. So I'm going to select CPU for the device, and then it's going to go ahead and run. So we're going to go ahead and let this run. Now, again, this is one of those things that with any sort of these CAD/CAM applications, the speed of your computer is incredibly important for how quickly it's able to run, okay? Now, in this case, I have a really good GPU in here, but I want to run it off of the CPU just to show how long it would take. And in this case, for a full volume scan, it took about 6 minutes to go ahead and process this. Now, like I said, this would be a fraction of the time if you ran this off of your CUDA cores, if you have them, but I want to simulate it if you don't have a super phenomenal computer, okay? So After it finishes running, this is going to be what it looks like, okay? So it took this CBCT volume we have for our patient, which is, like I said, it's me. So it'll turn it into a 3D model. And you can see here that where 3D Slicer is so powerful is that it's actually able to distinguish between the maxilla, the maxillary teeth, the mandibular teeth, the mandible, and even the mandibular canal as well. So again, we're just 3D printing today, but this has a massively wide range of variety of things that you can do with this for your own practice and your own patients. But what we're going to be doing is we could just go ahead and print this as it is, but you can see here that this is what it would look like if we just printed the mandible. Okay, so this is like, it's fine. It's cool. We use this for a transplantation guide, and this is useful. But in this situation, we actually want to go ahead and print it with the teeth on there. Now, one of the things you have to note is that when you're segmenting the teeth with a CBCT file, you're going to be losing some of the definition of the teeth. And you can kind of see here that it's lost some of that definition and it's not able to really go through and clearly show the teeth. Now, the thing with this is that this is just for treatment planning, and this is going to be printing it honestly just to sit on my desk like this one right here. But you're not going to be making crowns off of this or fabricating an occlusal guard off of this, okay? But this is how you would go about it, okay? So just want to be clear with that. In this situation, actually, I don't have a heavily restored dentition. I do have a number of composites, but you can see that it's actually able to show my teeth fairly accurately throughout the scan. So this is kind of the best case scenario with it. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to hide all of the upper jaw and then also the mandibular canal because I want it to be a actual hole that you can kind of see through here for like the mental foramen on both sides and tracing the entire IA canal rather than it being a solid structure in there. So once I've hit all of that, I need to combine the two of these together. Like I said, if we want to just print the mandible, we can just go ahead and export that. But let's combine the two of them together to show you how to do that. So we're going to perform a Boolean operation here, which all that means is we're going to join the two of them together. So we're going to click on this Boolean operation thing. It's going to be in the bottom left on the little taskbar over there, whatever you'd call it. And what I'm going to do is we're going to be selecting both the mandible and the mandibular teeth. And we're going to be joining whatever we're selected in the bottom area to whatever we have selected in the top. So in the top in this situation, we have the mandible selected. So then I'm going to be clicking on the lower teeth. We're going to hit add for the operation right here. I'm going to click apply. So what this is going to do is this is going to add the lower teeth to the mandible. So then when I go ahead and toggle off the visibility for the lower teeth, you can see that it's all one cohesive model. So now that we have this, we can go ahead and take this and export this as an STL. Now, I'm going to add one more step in here, okay? As most of you know, whenever we're going to be printing something, we need what's called a watertight model. A watertight model simply means that, well, it's watertight. There are no holes in it. Because if there are any holes in your object that you're 3D printing, that is going to be a failed print the vast majority of the time. You'll get errors with it. Now, some of your slicing software that you would use to go send this to your printer is able to automatically correct all of these holes, but in case it isn't, or if you just want to be safe, we're going to use Meshmixer in order to go through and correct all of these holes. Okay, so we're going to export this as a STL, like we said, and you can see we have it right over here. And this is what it looks like. Okay, it looks great for a file, but we want to take this into Meshmixer. So Meshmixer looks like this when we open it up. We're going to import that mandible in there. Now, like I said, it's going to be called the mandible, but the mandible in this case had the lower teeth added to it. Okay, so we're going to open up that file through here, and then this is going to be what it looks like. We're going to go to the bottom left corner and click on analysis. Now, what analysis does, as you can see here, is that it shows all of the holes that exist for this. So you can see there's a ton of holes in this, and this would be a failed print. And all we're going to do is we're going to go to the whole fill mode. I like flat fill with a very small threshold of 0.01 millimeters. And I'm just going to click on auto repair all. And what this is going to do, you can see these holes are so small that you're not actually able to see them with your naked eye. Sometimes you can see larger ones, but in this case, they're really, really small. So it's not going to look any different, but now you know that you have a watertight model that you're then able to take to your 3D printer and print. Or if you just want to use this for treatment planning, you have it in whatever STL viewer you want. So thank you guys so much for watching. This went through how to take a CBCT file for a patient and how to turn this into a model that you're able to then just take to your printer or use for any sort of treatment planning purposes that you would want. Like I said, my name's Dr. Michael Gimity. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great night.